How many brothers and sisters did you have, Grandpa?
One brother, one sister. My sister's the youngest. My brother's deceased, and my sister, she's pregnant, 8 years younger than me. She lives in Monmouth, Maryland, Yard.
Yeah, we've stayed, Tad and Marilyn Yard, we've stayed at their condo in the Ozarks. Do you remember that? You were tiny.
No.
That was Jean Leonard.
No.
Was it? Oh, Jean and Leonard, that's
My
right.
cousin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, Marilyn and Tad were educators all their life. She married Robert Yard. They were both, Marilyn was from New Windsor, and Tad, her husband Robert, I call him Tad is his nickname, but he was from Balwa. He lived in Balwa. But see, after I got out of high school a few years later, they merged. Balwa and New Windsor merged, and they called it Winola.
Mm-hmm.
So they went to high school together, and that's how they met. And that's how they got married. So, okay.
And
How
I
many
had,
brothers and sisters?
I had 11 in my family, 7 brothers and 4 girls. Our first child died, I think he was 14 months old. He had smallpox.
Is that what it was?
Mhm. So we were a large family, but we didn't have a lot, in our family growing up. But everybody worked. You had to work to help, income, so that you had something to eat and had buy your clothes and different things that you needed to have. So we enjoyed being together when we were little. It was like 2 families, because the older brothers and sisters, they were growing up and had left to go work different places. So there was about, 5 of us left then that I kind of grew up with. And so we enjoyed our time together as a family. And of course, the only thing about large family, you don't get to see them all very often, but we have kept in touch more, I think, in the later years than we did before.
Hmm.
Well, with the exception of Freddie and
Yeah.
Raymond and Bob, because they'd be up in Minnesota. We'd go up there at least once or twice a year to see your mother.
Mm-hmm. And, my dad, when he was working, he was in the creamery business. He ran a creamery at the time, Land O'Lakes. So, but then things got hard. I think it was during the Depression area, and then they started using this margarine, so he had to quit working in that. And times were hard. My older brothers, a couple of them didn't get to finish high school because they had to go out and work on farms to help the family out. But that's what you had to do sometimes with a large family. Some of the children would have to go out and work and help to provide food. And the farmers were good. They gave us meat and milk and eggs and things that helped us survive.
I think that was one of Calvin's questions was where did your dad work?
Mhm.
He really wanted to know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then we'll tell what he did next.
Then he couldn't get back in the creamery business again, so for a while he sold Watkins products, like for
Like Watkins
flavored-
vanilla
yeah,
and stuff.
vanilla,
Oh, that's
all
fun.
different things like that. And they had salves and flavorings and all different kinds of things like that. And then he went into the shoe repairing business. He enjoyed working with his hands like that, and he did a lot of redoing shoes. People didn't buy a new pair of shoes when theirs were worn out. They'd go have it fixed, and my dad could put on a new sole and new heels and make it just like a brand new shoe. And he also helped do a lot of work for farmers. They'd have canvases that they would bring in that needed to be sewed and repairs on it, and also all these bridles, or what do you call them, the leather things that needed repairing. He would work on those too.
Horse harness.
Yeah, sew on those. And my dad played the violin. He was very good on the violin. He loved it. And my brothers too. I had one brother that played the accordion and one the guitar, and then I had another friend that would come in sometimes and play guitar too. And my mother could chord on the piano. She would play the piano. We loved music as a family. I remember listening to my brothers and my dad practicing, and it was so pretty. And they were asked at times to play for dances. They used to play the Norwegian polkas, and then a lot of the dance tunes, and then some, sometimes too, my dad later on, he would play in church too, and my one brother played accordion did too. But they enjoyed music, so that's one thing I can always remember growing up. I loved the music that we had in our family.
Oh.
We didn't have a lot of other things, but we had music, and my mother was always baking. She made sometimes she'd make as many as 20 loaves of bread a day, and she made a lot of donuts. Our kids used to get donuts when we'd go out and see her in Minnesota. She lived up there for a while, and our kids enjoyed that. They liked the
In the latter years,
Mhm.
they always
Yeah.
sent us home with a big
bucket.
plastic bucket full of homemade donuts.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, and my mother would, when she'd buy flour, like for her bread and stuff, they'd come in great big bags, and the flour, the sacks,
Cotton
and
sacks.
and they'd have material that was had flowers on it or other different things on it, and she would take them and wash them up, and then she would make clothes for us kids. She made a lot of little summer dresses for my little sister and I when we were little, and then she would go over to the courthouse there in Findlay, North Dakota, where I was growing up, and they would let her come in there and sew, because her machine wasn't working too good at that time. But I remember one time she made me the most beautiful black satin skirt. It was just so pretty with the black straps on it and a white satin blouse, long sleeve blouse, and I just loved that. And one time she made me a corduroy little jumper, a royal blue, and then a tam that went with it. So she did a lot of sewing for us kids, and made a lot of clothes for us.
But they had a sewing machine at the courthouse?
Yes, they had a room that people could come up there and sew, because times were hard.
Oh.
And they
Depression
would
times,
that was
hard
depression,
times.
and they would let people come up there and sew. And and so
Wow.
that's what she used to go up there and do a lot of sewing for the family.
Oh.
Courthouse still there.
Yes, it's still there.
We went back quite a few years ago, and took a trip to Findlay and saw where she was born, where her dad's shoe shop was, and then we went to Havre, where they lived there. But we'd stopped every one of her brothers and sisters' place and videoed everything, the whole trip
Oh, wow.
on video.
This is a picture of my little sister and I when we were growing up in Findlay, North Dakota. That's how we looked, like two little ragamuffins there.
There's your grandma, there's her sister
My
Phyllis.
sister Phyllis.
Now,
She
she
was,
lives in Illinois. And another thing, see, of the 11 children, all 3 girls are still living. All 4, I mean, counting your
Yeah.
grandma. So all the 4 girls are still living. None of them have died.
and I have 2 brothers left.
So it's lost 5 brothers or 4.
But, yeah, we just we had 2 real great big huge trees in our yard. That maybe he wants to ask another question. You want to ask another one, or you're getting? I'll let you ask another question.
Whose turn?
What do you remember about your mom and dad?
So Grandma just kind of explained
Yeah,
some
I
stuff.
kind of told you about mine. So I like Grandpa.
Well, my parents were both raised on a farm right east here at New Windsor, out in the country. And my mom was at Enstrom. And she had 2 brothers. But she was, let's see, was she the oldest, Francis? Or no?
Floyd? I think Floyd, isn't it?
Floyd, yeah, Floyd, and then my Enstrom, and
And-
then Laverne.
Yeah.
Now, her brother Laverne lived here the folks, the Anstrom, Mr. and Mrs. Anstrom, had moved to Aledo after they retired from farming. And they lived in the house right, you know where Chris Kopp lives, where all the beautiful Christmas lights were this year? Did you take him by there and show him? He got first place, he was just beautiful.
Chris?
Chris Cobb that works down at the
Yeah.
station.
Yeah. Well, we know where his house is,
Yeah.
but no, I didn't
Okay,
see his
that
lights.
brick house right next to him, that's where Anstroms lived. My grandma and grandpa used to live there. And so, then, but my mother, she's very smart. I know I delivered to a lady one time gasoline out south of Ball, probably 40 years ago or more. And she says, you're son of Lillian Anstrom, aren't you? Lillian Blick. I said, yes. So I went to school with your mother, and I said, she was the smartest kid in the whole school. She said, she's just so intelligent about everything, and mathematics and everything. And so, I think I already told you about my dad going to college and everything, the bank, and then back farming. So they ended up getting married. And I think Dad had a brand new old Buick when he got married. But when he went to farming, he needed some money, so he sold it and bought a old car. And, I think it was a Graham Page. Never heard of Graham Page, have you?
I haven't.
No, I didn't either.
Anyway, we lived out there, and our closest big city to go to shop or that was Galesburg. And one time we were going to Galesburg, and we were a little, I got a frog too. And